Many Mustang purists were aghast when they saw a crossover all-electric SUV wearing the Mustang badges. But in reality, the latest and greatest gas-powered Mustang product you can buy, the Dark Horse, this actually goes 0 to 60 quicker than it does. Hi, this is Joe from Way Scarff Ford. Today we're talking about this 2023 Mustang Mach-E GT. Let's dive in. Yes, this might be an all-electric crossover. It might seem blasphemy that Ford has called this a Mustang, because for the past 60 years, Mustangs have been front-engine, rear-wheel drive, gas-powered coupes, most notably with lovely-sounding V8 engines. But in execution, I think the Mach-E is a fantastic product, and maybe not everyone will agree with me, but you can read some automotive press reviews of the Mach-E, and they lavish it with praise. Specifically, the GT version, what this one is. This one makes 480 horsepower. 0 to 60 is right around 3.5 seconds. Right on par with a Dark Horse Mustang. And a quarter mile is a little over 12 seconds. Again, pretty close to what you get with the Dark Horse Mustang. But yet, the Dark Horse Mustang is a two-door coupe, where this is a much more practical SUV. Obviously, the Dark Horse, when you get on a racetrack and curvy roads, it's going to have some advantages over a heavier crossover SUV like this Mach-E, but I don't think it's blasphemy at all. I think based off the performance figures and the gorgeous styling, this one is definitely worthy of the prancing horse. And it's not easy to make these crossover SUVs look good. They're like a jelly bean or egg shape on wheels, but this has a beautiful curvaceous body. I think it's one of the best looking, not only electric SUVs, but crossover SUVs out there. And it's got the Mustang flair. You can see Mustang design cues in the front and rear, on the inside and the outside. You won't notice any Ford badges. It's completely branded as a Mustang product. So who knows what Ford has planned in the future of maybe expanding the Mustang brand for the better or worse, but hopefully and most likely for the better. This has a fully charged range of about 270 miles. And the magic thing about electric vehicles is it's like having an appliance. They don't require nearly as much service and attention as a gas-powered vehicle, especially a high-performance gas-powered vehicle. You wouldn't compare this to like a Honda CR-V or a Toyota RAV4. This is more comparable of premium European vehicles like BMW, Mercedes, or even a Lexus from Japan. As far as the fit and finish goes, creature comforts, this does not have a Lincoln badge on it, but the refinement, the attention to detail, the quality of the materials, the fit and finish, it's on par with a premium luxury brand. It's not comparable to a similar sized Ford SUV like the Escape or the Bronco Sport. This is a completely different level of refinement, fit and finish, and obviously performance. I love the supportive seats. I love the contrasting colors. The gold accents are really nice. Kind of reminds me of like the Hurst or Shelby Mustangs. We have a big panoramic roof panel, lots of natural light inside. Lovely leather, suede cloth, and contrast stitching throughout the dashboard. Great sounding Bang & Olufsen sound system. Nice cloth on the speaker grills. They did a fantastic job with the interior. On the center console, you see more synthetic leather and contrast stitching. You have this nice rotary dial to operate the transmission. Big infotainment screen. And the nice thing about the Mach-E, for those that don't want to go full computer on wheels like a Tesla, don't get me wrong, I like Teslas. I own a Tesla. I also own a Ford myself. But, you know, there is a little bit more of a learning curve with a Tesla just having that one screen. Operating this Mach-E is very similar to operating a regular gas-powered Ford product as far as the switchgear and buttons and knobs go. It's not that much different, but the only difference is that you go home and you plug it in versus going to a gas station and pump gas. We have this big vertical screen, lots of adjustability, lots of information. Fantastic parking cameras for excellent situational awareness. Obviously, we have an overhead camera. You can change views, composite views, 360 views. Fantastic climate control system. This has heated front seats, heated steering wheel. Also have a drive mode selector. We have Whisper, which is for nice, calm, easy desert driving. Here's Engage, which is like the mid-range setting. And then, of course, there's Unbridled, which obviously ties into that horse theme, which is obviously the performance mode. Then there's programmability. You can have fake sounds. It might sound corny, but sometimes it's fun to have those fake sounds. And if you think they're too corny, you can shut them off. There's Unbridled Extended, there's Auto Hold. So, you know, this is not a gas-powered vehicle, so when you remove your foot off the accelerator, like when you're at a stop, it won't start rolling again. If you're more used to the feeling of how a gas-powered car performs, then you can kind of make it behave like that. Then there's a one-pedal driving, which makes the regenerative braking more aggressive. So you can modulate the vehicle and slow it down with just the accelerator pedal. You don't even really need to touch the brake. And that's another magical thing about EVs, is normally with a regular gas-powered vehicle, when we use the brakes, we're losing all that energy through heat, through braking. But with electric vehicles, when you slow down, they can reverse the polarity of the electric motors, turning the electric motors pretty much into generators. So all that heat, all that kinetic energy normally lose through heat through regular brakes, you can recapture that with regenerative braking and put it back in the battery. That's what helps EVs become so efficient. While at the same time, when you're using your actual brakes far less, most of the time it's just for aggressive, hard braking or panic stops, emergency stops. Otherwise, the regenerative braking can do the majority of your braking. You'll find that your brakes can last well over 100,000 miles, sometimes over 150,000 miles. And brakes can be a pretty big maintenance item on a vehicle, especially a performance vehicle. On a performance vehicle, front and rear brakes could be $2,000 to $3,000 for new pads and rotors. But this does not require, complex dealer maintenance. It does not require spark plugs, expensive fully synthetic oil changes. You don't have complex emission control systems. They can go bad. You don't have catalytic converters to steel. You don't have coolant or oil leaks. And battery electric vehicles are proving to be robust. They're actually proving to last longer than gas cars. I can tell you, most of the gas cars we take it on trade with over 100,000 miles, most of the time we have to send them to the auction just because they have too many problems for us to put through our shop and spend the money and sell on our lot. It's just too much of a headache. But with EVs, you don't have to worry as much about oil leaks and coolant leaks and complex problems because they're far simpler. A gas car has thousands of moving parts, where an EV like this Mach-E has dozens. This one has really low miles, only 2,618 miles, very low miles for a 2003. Most people average 10, 12, 15,000 miles a year, so it's like in nearly new condition. When fully charged, the Mach-E has a 270-mile range. This thing looks spectacular in black on black. The Mach-E GT features dual motors. So there's a motor in the front, motor in the back, making it all-wheel drive. But that's also like having two engines. That's what puts the performance in the Mustang Mach-E GT. With those dual electric motors, you have a combined output of 480 horsepower. Like I said, 0 to 60 a little over 3 seconds, quarter mile a little over 12 seconds. You'll be able to smoke most purpose-built sports cars, let alone SUVs. Since we don't have an engine here, we have our frunk, which is a lot more interior space. It's very large. It's also a safety feature. You have all this energy absorbed, crash energy in a frontal collision. Since there's no engine here, you have a crumple zone that's about 60% larger than a gas car with an engine in the front. Also, a nice thought on Ford's part is that they have drain holes right here. So you can use this as an ice chest. You can fill this up with ice, put drinks in there, and it's great. Maybe if you're fishing, you can put ice in there and carry your daily catch home. Lovely front end styling. We can see Easter eggs and design influences from Mustangs from the decades past in this Mach-E GT. Another nice thing is pretty much the elimination of door handles. Door handles are a necessary evil, but they're kind of unsightly and ugly, where Ford has put these buttons right here where the doors will just pop right open. You have these little grab handles right here to pull the door the rest of the way. And on the back, the door opens as well the same way, and you can just open it, grab the back of the door and open it that way. The Mach-E is a compact, but it has pretty generous interior space. I'm 6'2". I had the seat adjusted way back, and I still have plenty of legroom back here. My knees are not touching the back of that front seat. Got plenty of headroom. Very comfortable place to be. Absolutely. The vertical tail lamps are definitely borrowed from the design of the Mustangs we saw from the 60s. We have a power rear liftgate, lots of cargo space, and you can fold down those rear seats for even more cargo space. The Mach-E checks off a lot of boxes. It's a very economical, low ownership cost vehicle to own. It's a crossover SUV with all-wheel drive, so it's great in all types of weather. And it's very practical. You have space for the family, space to haul cargo along, unlike a two-door Mustang, which are super cool, but very unpractical compared to a crossover SUV like this. Yet the Mustang GT offers blistering performance. In fact, The power delivery of EVs is almost addicting. You have instantaneous thrust as soon as you hit the throttle. Electric motors make their torque right away. They don't need to rev to a peak power band. They don't need a 10-speed automatic transmission to hunt for the right gear when you mash the throttle. You just have instantaneous thrust. Only one gear, instantaneous throttle response, instantaneous thrust. It's like pretty much having your own personal amusement park ride. Thanks so much for taking the time today to watch this video. Hope to see you soon and have a wonderful day.